Imagine a world where everyone speaks the same language, same words, same thoughts, same goals, no misunderstandings, no translations, no barriers. Now imagine that kind of unity focused on one thing: power. This is the story of the Tower of Babel, a story about ambition, identity, and what happens when people try to reach heaven without God. Earlier in Genesis, God sent a flood during Noah's time. After it ended, humanity restarted from Noah's family. God told them to spread out and fill the earth. He wanted people to grow, explore, and build lives across the world. Generations later, people chose not to do that. Instead of spreading out, they stayed together. And that decision leads us to the story of the Tower of Babel. At that time, everyone spoke the same language. The entire world could understand one another. There were no misunderstandings, no translators, no barriers. Communication was effortless. People settled in one place and decided to stay there. It felt safe, familiar, predictable. They liked being close, relying on each other, building something together. But staying comfortable meant ignoring what God had already asked them to do. One day, someone shared an idea. Let's build a city, and in the center of it, let's build a tower so tall that it reaches the heavens. This was not a small project. It was bold, ambitious, unprecedented. They wanted to prove what humanity could accomplish when fully united. They said, let us make a name for ourselves so we will not be scattered across the earth. Those words matter. They did not say, let us honor God. They did not say, let us fulfill the purpose He gave us. They said, let us make a name for ourselves. This tower was not just about architecture. It was about identity. They wanted security without trusting God. They wanted unity without obedience. They wanted significance without surrender. Brick by brick, the tower rose higher. The people worked together in perfect coordination. From the outside, it looked like success. It looked like progress. It looked impressive. But God saw something deeper. God was not threatened by the tower. Heaven is not reached by human hands. God cannot be accessed by bricks, ladders, or ambition. The issue was the heart behind the project. Humanity had learned that unity gives power, and power without humility always leads to destruction. If people continued down this path, pride would grow unchecked. Humanity would begin trusting itself more than its creator. So God stepped in, not to punish, but to protect. Suddenly, language broke. People began speaking, but no one understood. Instructions stopped making sense. Words turned into noise. Confusion spread through the city. Workers argued. Plans collapsed. Cooperation turned into frustration. Construction stopped, not because the tower fell, but because understanding did. Without communication, unity dissolved. People eventually left. Groups went in different directions, forming new communities, cultures, and languages. Humanity finally spread across the earth, just as God had originally instructed. The city was called Babel, which means noisy confusion, because there God confused the language of the whole world. The Tower of Babel is often misunderstood as a story about languages, but at its core, it is a story about pride. God is not against unity. In fact, He designed people to live in community. But unity that removes God from the center will always collapse. Babel shows us what happens when people build their lives around control instead of trust, reputation instead of purpose, and self instead of God. Interestingly, later in the Bible, God does something powerful. Instead of confusing languages, He brings people together across different languages through faith. What humanity tried to force at Babel, God later restores through humility and obedience. The lesson is clear. God does not stop progress. He redirects it. God does not hate ambition. He reshapes it. And God does not destroy humanity's ability to build. He calls us to build with Him, not above Him. So here are some lessons we can learn from the Tower of Babel. 1. Unity without obedience leads to pride. 2. Comfort can quietly replace trust in God. 3. Making a name for yourself is not the same as living with purpose. 4. And sometimes God allows confusion not to harm us, but to redirect us. The Tower of Babel reminds us that building without God leads to confusion. But when we walk with Him, even when we do not see the full picture, He brings clarity, purpose, and direction. This story is found in the Bible in Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 through 9. If you want to explore it more deeply, I encourage you to read it for yourself. If this story helped you see Scripture in a clearer or more relatable way, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps these stories reach more people, and it allows us to continue sharing the Bible in a way that is simple, meaningful, and easy to understand.